Tempted. Paris.
Hello? Emotions. What? The French flag. Croissant. About Paris. Paris. Wow. A feather fan. Amsaan Tours presents DeafGo Travel Show. Here we are in France. DeafGo lands right here in Paris. Of course, we all know this famous landmark behind us, the Eiffel Tower. Paris? I already know Paris. I've seen it many times. But today I'm going to show you a different perspective of Paris. A side you may not expect. Rumor has it that Paris has an underground world. An underground world? Yes, a completely different Paris. We're gonna discover it. Would you like that? Sure, I'd love to see it. But first we have to visit the Eiffel Tower. Go there again? We have to start there because we are already nearby. Let's go. Okay. This is the sign for P in Paris. People who live here place P on their palm. People who don't live here use P like this. Now imagine Paris without the Eiffel Tower. It would be impossible to imagine France without it. The Eiffel Tower has become a proud symbol of France. But when it was first built, many Parisians actually hated it. They thought it was an eyesore. Many people believed it was an ugly iron structure that ruined the beauty of Paris. The Eiffel Tower was originally built for the 1889 World Expo. It was only supposed to remain standing for 20 years. But, as you can see, it still stands today. Over time, Parisians and people around the world grew to love this monument. An interesting paradox. What many once saw as a mistake became over time the very symbol that proved them wrong. An interesting fact, at the top of the Eiffel Tower, there's a private apartment. It includes a bedroom, a lounge area, and dining space offering 360-degree views. Who did this room belong to? The person who designed the Eiffel Tower himself. This was his private office where he worked, relaxed, and found inspiration for his designs. He also invited other architects and important guests there for meetings. Many people wanted to rent this apartment for just one night. They offered him large amounts of money, but Gustave Eiffel politely refused the offer. His name was Gustave Eiffel, and that's why the tower carries his name, the Eiffel Tower. Street mime. You look sad. Don't be. Not replying? Hello there. Just to let you know, he's still communicating with you, but only through emotions and facial expressions. Oh, I see. He can tell stories about Paris and its history without using words. The world knows him as a symbol of France. That's right. If you wore the striped top and beret just for the look, it's more than that. There's a history behind why people dress like that. Historical in what way? Look over there. If you look back long ago, many people set sail across the sea. traveling far away and staying away for long periods. The stripes represent and honor those who sailed. I see, and the red berets? Berets were a symbol connected to artists expressing freedom, as well as literature, poetry, music, lyrics, and political opinions. All of these are associated with the beret. What about the white face paint? The face mask is for emotions, which are more powerful, expressing more than words can from any text. I get it. No matter where you are in the world, when we see it, we know it is French. That's right. Whether it's happiness or sadness, tears or surprise, all emotions are clear. There is no need for someone to explain. It is easily understood by everyone. Being deaf, I noticed something interesting. Mime artists share the same form of expression through silence as we do. It is an easy way to communicate, which is truly beautiful. Crazy. There are so many lines all over the place. Can you imagine? It looks like a bowl of spaghetti. I'll try my best not to get lost. I don't get it. Hey, what? The Paris metro isn't easy, right? No, it's easy peasy. Then how come I keep getting lost? I go this way, then up, and then down, and then that way. Easy, huh? Paris can test whether you have a sense of direction or not. That's it. Meaning I'm stupid? What did he say? Hey! Here behind me you may recognize the Louvre. It's not just a big museum. It's one of the most famous museums in the world. Millions of people come here to experience its art, culture, history, and of course, the Mona Lisa. Every day, many people line up just to spend a few seconds seeing the Mona Lisa. Some even struggle to take a close-up photo because of the crowds. It's a must-have photo, but the Louvre has so much more to offer than just the Mona Lisa. There are paintings, carvings, sculptures, and countless other treasures from around the world, spanning many generations. Long ago, this was a palace where generations of kings, queens, and their families once lived. Today, it has become one of the world's greatest museums. Here you can see Egyptian artifacts, papyrus scrolls, carved plaques, sculptures, and sphinxes. You'll also find heroic Greek statues, along with many other historical treasures from different periods, including the Revolution and the times of war. If you think you can visit the whole of the Louvre in just one day while you're in Paris, think again. It's impossible. My best advice is to choose a few galleries or exhibits that interest you the most. Explore the history that means the most to you. Simply walking in, looking around, and leaving isn't enough. It's much more than that. This is a place that broadens your knowledge and lets you feel connected to history. There you have it. There's so much to see here. I decided to choose one of the most famous works of art, the Mona Lisa. Originally, I thought the portrait would be huge. Surprisingly, it's quite small. Now we all know Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, but the Mona Lisa became famous long before any of them existed. Everyone knew her then, and everyone still knows her today. So who was the artist who painted her portrait? Leonardo da Vinci. It was, of course, the world-famous Italian artist. When you look at Mona Lisa, she isn't like any ordinary portrait. If you look closely, you start to ask yourself questions. Is she really looking directly at me? Or is she staring into the distance? What is she thinking? Look at her lips. Is she smiling? Is she happy? Or is she hiding her sadness behind a gentle smile? So many questions arise. That was the painter's intention, to leave it open to your own interpretation. An interesting fact is that the portrait became even more famous because of what happened to it. In 1911, a worker at the Louvre secretly stole the painting and fled. When it disappeared, people around the world were shocked and devastated. Everyone wondered where it had gone, and newspapers around the world made it headline news. People demanded answers, asking, "Where's the Mona Lisa?" The search continued for 2 years. Finally, the thief was caught, and the painting was recovered and returned to the Louvre. After that, the Mona Lisa became even more famous than before. Hey, what? I've got to tell you, I'm shocked. What happened? I really think Mona Lisa is deaf. Really? It's true, honestly. Go on. I was standing among the visitors looking at the Mona Lisa. Everyone else was looking at her face, especially her lips. They always focus on the mouth because they speak, you know. But me? I focus on her hands because we sign. I kept watching and watching. Suddenly she moved her hands and signed, "Hello, are you okay?" I froze. Then I replied, I'm fine. I wanted her to keep signing, but she went back to her pose. I waited and waited. I wanted to ask her so many questions, but she just ignored me with a smile. Come on, Mona, say something. Okay, you do realize you're only here to use your eyes. Just look, that's all. Okay? Okay. Did you know that la bise in France starts with the left cheek, then the right? Let's do it again. Sometimes we touch cheeks 2, 3, or even 4 times, much like the British who drive on the left side. That's right. If we get it wrong, we bump into each other, or accidentally end up with a kiss. So be careful. That's right, be careful. Comment ça va? Ça va means how are you, right? That's right. Many people ask, comment ça va? How do we reply? We say good, right? No. We reply ça va using the same words, but with a different expression. Ça va? Ça va. Ah, so it's all about the expression. Welcome to Paris. Thank you. French people are very proud of Paris. That's right, I'm very proud. So the sign for France. It is because of the French football team's badge with the rooster's comb. That's right. Yay! My name's Eugène, and I'm from France, born and bred in Paris. A true Parisian. And now international sign versus French Sign Language, LSF. What's the sign for ready? Ready. Ah, ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000! Love your sign for million. It looks like you're carrying millions of plates on your arm and they just keep going forever. That's right. Very French. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. As you may know, the French fingerspelling alphabet was the first to influence fingerspelling international around the world, and it has evolved over time. Even today, we see many similarities. France is proud to have been the first. She said it herself. Hello? How are you? Thank you. Please. Welcome. Hotel. Travel. Bus. Taxi. Museum. Theater. Deaf. Hearing. Yes. No. Happy. Sad. Water closet. How. Who. Or. I like it. I don't like it. I love you. I love traveling. Bye. Well, here it is. It's really beautiful. When you look at this, you can't help but fall in love. It really draws you in. Of course, I ran and ran towards the Eiffel Tower, getting closer and closer. I kept running until I was stopped and told to go over there, only to see a massive queue. It was so long that I joined the end of the line and patiently waited. After a long wait, I finally arrived and embraced the Eiffel Tower with kisses. Mwah, mwah. Then back you go, Eiffel. Then there's the Louvre Museum. Of course, I ran and ran again, but once again I was stopped by another long queue. After another long wait, I finally reached the front and explored the museum. Then there's the Arc de Triomphe. Of course, it's a famous monument for taking pictures, but again, another long queue just to take a picture. What's with all these queues, huh? Just imagine you fall in love with someone. As we know, real French people are romantics. And your eyes meet, you pick a flower, and you run towards the love of your life, only to be stopped by another long queue. The flower? Forget it. Huh? French people all about romance? Let the show begin. Opening applause. Moulin Rouge. C'est incroyable! Wow! What I saw I thoroughly enjoyed. Words can't explain it. The show felt never-ending. I was completely taken aback. Just wow. Hey, that show with the can-can was mesmerizing. I was knocked for 6. Just jaw-dropping. Impressive, huh? Imagine TikTok, where people endlessly scroll and binge-watch videos. Back then, when there were no phones, it was the same with the Moulin Rouge, a show you couldn't stop watching. Maybe you can imagine that, right? Also on TikTok, when we really like or love something, we send likes and hearts. Back then, for the show, people showed their appreciation through applause. It's the same with TikTok today, where many posts are filtered, changing the original, enhancing it, and attracting attention. It's similar to how review performers would show off their feathers. The difference is the performers were genuinely beautiful, right? Well, TikTok is boring compared to the Moulin Rouge with its stunning feathers. It's simply spellbinding. Just wow. I would pay for a ticket not only to watch the show, but to experience a dream. Wow. Sorry. What are you doing? Well, I want a perfect photo. But it's impossible with so many obstacles and people getting in the way. I have the best photos. Let me show you. How'd you do that? Huh. America! You see me as America? But it's true, everyone knows you. Yes. But I stand for liberty. But everyone knows my history. Where did it all begin? You think here in America? So it's not here. No. So where? France, Paris. My sister is over there. See the likeness? A copy of the other. Years ago, France and America built a strong friendship, supporting each other. Famous artists came up with the idea of creating a statue to represent liberty. In 1884, France gifted the Statue of Liberty to America. A few years later, a smaller replica was gifted back to France as a symbol of appreciation. Today, we see them as sisters. They are an important reminder that liberty is meaningful and important for everyone. Hey, as you can see right there, up the street, there are plenty of things to see. Wow, this is the real Paris as we know it. With many avenues, each one truly beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, just amazing. That's right, each avenue tells a story. Beautiful, huh? Just so you know, I have my story too. From this street and this hotel. What? I hired a car, drove around sightseeing. And when I came back, I tried to find a parking space. I spent 1 whole hour looking for one. Finally, I found a parking space. There, that's my story. Huh? In Paris, it's impossible to ignore the food. It's simply too irresistible. In the morning at my hotel, of course, breakfast means croissant. So tasty. The smell alone is to die for. But aside from that, friends told me there are 3 must-try dishes here. French onion soup. What? Just onions boiled in water? That's it? I don't know. We'll try it. Next up, snails. Why do they eat that? We'll find out. And lastly, frog legs. Maybe my friends are testing me to see if I would actually try them. I will. I have confidence. Here we have onion soup. An interesting fact. It is made with just chopped onions, water, and bread. Years ago, this was a staple food in France. Why? Because it was cheap. Also, onions last a long time. For example, during winter, onions could be stored for long periods when other plants couldn't survive. It was easy to make, filling, and tasty. This dish was commonly eaten at breakfast to give people energy before starting work. Nowadays, the recipe has evolved with added seasonings to enhance the flavors, making it even more delicious. This is a true French specialty. But why add bread? When bread became stale, instead of throwing it away, people added it to the soup. It absorbed the soup and became soft again. Interesting. Very good. Why do you think French people eat snails? Well, it dates back to the time of Roman Catholic fasting rules. On certain days, eating meat and drinking milk were forbidden. French people needed something else to eat. And they considered snails not to be meat. Similar to plants. This meant they could eat them. And over time, snails became a traditional dish. Today they're considered a special delicacy in France. I know the French are skilled at handling snails. Me? I'm clumsy. I need both hands. I have to learn this. Oh my, this is delicious. And now we have frog legs. I was the most intrigued by the dish, and finally it has arrived. Why do French people eat frog legs? For the same reason as snails, it connects back to the Catholic fasting rules, but they also became famous as a French specialty. Just so you know, we don't eat the whole frog, only the legs. The rest of the body is removed. Where do I start? Oh, there. There you have it, real frog legs. French Pride presents. It tastes like chicken, similar to chicken wings. Absolutely delicious. Stop filming. Creativity and fashion are way ahead here. We see many people showing off their style and fashion. One thing I noticed is that whether someone is a millionaire, dressed elegantly, or someone who's less wealthy, they can look equally stylish and beautiful. It's hard to tell the difference in wealth. From rich to poor, everyone can look the same. Another thing I was told by a French person who lives in Paris. There's a local shop just 1 minute away from her home right around the corner. You'd think that if you only needed to buy something from the local shop, you'd wear your home clothes, maybe a dressing gown, right? Nope. They still dress up fashionably even for a 1 minute trip, showing their style to the locals. I'm here, but where do you think I am? On an island? You guessed it, an island in Paris. Yes. On this very island behind me stands one of the most important Catholic churches in the world, and it is called Notre-Dame. The name translates to Our Lady or Mother of God. Years ago, when Paris was still a small city, the surrounding buildings were much smaller, while Notre Dame stood tall for everyone to see. One historical account tells of a stonemason nicknamed the Hunchback who helped sculpt parts of Notre Dame. Quasimodo, a fictional character who appeared in many films, helped make Notre-Dame famous worldwide. In 2019, a tragedy struck when Notre-Dame caught fire. The blaze destroyed much of the roof, and the iconic spire collapsed. The world watched in shock. You could say it was as if the heart of Paris had been broken. Afterwards, thanks to support and generous donations from around the world, an extraordinary restoration began. After years of careful work, the cathedral was restored, allowing its heart to beat once again and welcoming back the Roman Catholic Church. Notre-Dame is far more than just beautiful bricks and stone. It's a symbol of Paris, filled with centuries of history that have inspired millions of people around the world. Hey, I noticed something. Today I sat down and ordered a coffee. The waiter served it, and then I sat back, relaxed, and enjoyed the view, taking my time. I noticed the waiter didn't come back. In other countries, I find that after ordering a coffee, 2 minutes later the waiter returns asking if I would like another coffee. I say no, then 5 minutes later they ask if I would like some food. Again I say no, the waiter keeps coming back and interrupting, which can sometimes feel like too much. But here, it's completely different. Once the coffee is served, the waiter is nowhere to be seen. It feels wonderful. I can enjoy the view, watch people passing by, and admire the beautiful buildings around me. Impressive. Now where's the waiter? Nowhere to be seen. Wonderful. Pure bliss. Rumor has it, there's another world beneath Paris. An underworld, can you imagine? People come to see Paris for its beautiful sights. The Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, the architecture, strolling along the boulevards and sailing along the Seine, right? Then suddenly, below the surface, it's a completely different world. It's dark with narrow tunnels, holding a lantern to find skeletons. A reflection of Paris below ground. Wow. Both worlds existed during the time of the Roman Empire. You had to pay. Unbelievable as it may seem, the tunnel stretched for around 300 kilometers. Just incredible. However, when we enter below, we only walk about 1 kilometer of this vast underground network. Deep beneath Paris, there are long, narrow tunnels that can feel disorienting. As Paris developed and flourished, there was a need to build more. Below ground, rocks were extracted to build churches, homes, and hospitals. Paris expanded to an incredible rate, with thousands of people moving to the city. As the population grew, so did the number of people who needed to be buried. Before long, the city's cemeteries became overcrowded. Graves were dug closer together and bodies were buried in increasingly cramped conditions. Eventually, some cemeteries began to collapse, and the smell from decomposing bodies became a serious public health problem. They came up with an unusual solution, creating underground spaces for the dead. This allowed them to continue extracting stone for new buildings while moving the remains underground to create more space above. This led to the massive expansion of the underground world. In the catacombs, it's not thousands, but millions of the dead who rest here. I'm about to enter, and I'm quite nervous. When we see cemeteries, we never really think about what lies beneath them. But now that I'm here, seeing so many skeletons, I feel quite disturbed. imagine, every single one of these people had their own story. No! Picture this, the reality of Parisian life. The people above living their lives, and the people below, the millions of skeletons in the catacombs, each with their own story. Hey, what? Tourists come to visit famous and beautiful places, right? Yes, you're right. Then why have you dragged me underground? What the? Hold on. Out here in broad daylight, if you want to be romantic and have a smooch, it's impossible to find any privacy. You wouldn't want to feel embarrassed, would you? Whereas down below, where it's dark and private, you can smooch away. That's why. When you look at Paris, there are so many fascinating places to discover. Seeing everything is impossible, but that doesn't matter. You can choose a few places that speak to your heart and create your own experience of what defines Paris. LSF, French Sign Language, is truly a beautiful and smooth language, like music to your eyes. It is so pleasing to watch. In Paris, the metro isn't easy, and it's easy to get lost. But that's all part of the adventure. Sitting down at a cafe, sipping coffee without interruptions, allows you to reflect, relax, and enjoy the views around you. French croissants and their aroma are like a tempting scent inviting you to have another bite. Moulin Rouge was mind-blowing, especially the can-can dance, with its dazzling feather displays. The Louvre can open your eyes and guide you back through history. You see the beautiful world of Paris, but beneath its beauty lies another story, the catacombs, where millions of the dead rest. They serve as a haunting reminder of those who once lived, worked, and helped Paris become what it is today. Frog legs, a true delicacy of rich French cuisine. The Eiffel Tower, a monument of pride for France. Everywhere you go, Paris touches your heart in a way that only Paris can. The perfect ending to your adventure is, of course, watching the Eiffel Tower as the sun sets, with its sparkling lights glowing like a final goodbye. If you enjoyed our show and would like to visit Paris, go to our website where you'll find plenty of information. Contact us. See you later. Ciao.